just need my audio up so I can hear the moves. So 1079, good luck. Ooh, playing the Ross Gambit. 178 games. That's enough to establish your baseline rating. Okay, let's just drop back. That's very, very odd. Opening moves. So knight's coming here. What do I want to do? How do I want to do this? Yeah, I think d4 is still a good principled move. Probably do this and this. Do I want to do that? Yeah, I'm going to go at g3 and develop. I often play the reti, of course, so I often play this type of structure. I could take the knight, I could push either of these pawns. We could still potentially do that. Okay, bishop up. Let's just go here, make sure we can castle. I've got bishop up here as well, of course. Then if the queen wanders off, we can then take the knight. But I'd rather just castle first. Now bishop up's getting a bit more dangerous. If you go here, we can pawn push. It's actually probably a very strong move. I guess you can just go here. Knight across, you can get into a bit of bother. Actually, no, here, knight across, I lose the bishop, don't I? So here you probably have to go there. So it's whether I want to do that or push the pawn up. What do I want to do? Here, I'm assuming this. Maybe then queen up. No, I'm going to get bold. I'm just going to push forward. So we're threatening to go to c5 as well and kick the bishop back somewhere or other. Let's say bishop up is still a threat. There's a slightly... I think that's the best move for black. So slightly annoying. Like I say, I could still take and allow this. Here, across. I've got queen up, but this pawn's loose. I could play pawn forward. I can push. How do I want to do it though? Here. If the rook takes, I just take. Knight takes is fine, isn't it? I'm just going to play knight up and hit the rook. If you give up an exchange, I'm quite happy. I think. I could be blundering something, but it feels okay. We could get our knight forward as well, depending on what the rook does. If you go here, then bishop up does look quite a good move. So he has gone back. So I'm still looking at this bishop up move. I've got knight up. Right now he's fine. Bishop up, queen across. Maybe just queen up one then. I guess you've then just got a simple knight down. I don't really like the look of that. But equally, I don't want to do e3 now and block my bishop in. I like the look of c5 to drive his bishop back. Yeah, I'm going to play c5. You normally play d5. I'm going to play c5 and try and get rid of this annoying bishop. It's in an annoying position there, eyeing the h2 pawn. Again, if you go here, then I've still got the option of bishop up and I can maybe trade. And that's what he's done. So we do have that option now. We've also got knight up to hit the queen and the pawn and the bishop. So knight up, I think, looks like my favourite move here. So I'm going to do that and just hit all three of them. We could potentially win an exchange here. The knight covers this pawn as well as the queen. I'll get the cursor off the board there so there's no accidental mouse slips. They do happen. I don't think the queen's getting trapped, but we'll still have to look at that, because if you go on the light squares, we've got knight jumps here, you cover it, here, you cover it. So I don't think the queen's actually trapped there. So I think we should just take the pawn, but is there anything better? Is there any immediate danger, like knight down, queen across at least is a threat that you have to look at. But I think it's fine to take and hit the rooks. Knight down with a view of queen coming behind, but it's kind of covered right now, so I think I'm all right. I think I can play h3 as well. Okay, so knight down to come here. So obviously I can take either rook. I like the idea of taking the center rook more, I think. Just because then my opponent doesn't have a rook in the center. If I allow knight in, Maybe I then just take the knight. If you take the rook, I can just take back here. I'm just going to take the rook and then take the knight, I think. Okay, knight's coming. So I think we just take here. If you take here, we can drop the bishop back. So let's just take here. I'm not really trying to keep this knight, but right now there are options. So it looks like we can keep the knight, but I'm not panicking over it. So now rook across should be a move. I guess you can jump back. So whether I mind giving up the exchange to get rid of a piece. So I can just ignore it and drop back here. I can play the knight forward and hit the queen. Where's that queen going to go actually? Again, I've got knight here now. And how do you guard your knight? Knight across. And they're all covered, aren't they? But knight here you'll have to take. But I don't like the idea of that. So knight here you can then cover. And I don't see the knockout blow. Rook across, knight back. The knight's getting back into the game. I quite like the idea of actually just giving up the exchange. Fundamentally, it's not so good. Actually, no, let's keep the rook. Obviously, I'm trying to keep an eye on the clock, but I've got plenty of time here. Just pawn up when the knight goes back. The knight will centralise. I'll drop the knight back somewhere or other. Okay, I could play knight here first and then up, I guess. Do I want to go here? Rook across, pawn up, then knight back in? I think I do. Let's go here first to hit the rook, and then we'll play a move like a3. If he takes the pawn, I'll just simply take the rook. Okay, now I'll go a3. We've just covered the knight jumping in over. Okay, so that's coming over. Now we can just go across and attack the rook, I assume. Sorry, the rook attack the knight. I've still got one square for, well, two squares for my knight. d5 is the natural one to hit the bishop. Okay, he's covered them, but we're going to win a knight. We could actually go back here. Is there any point whatsoever doing that? Or maybe we can be a little bit mean and go here. If you take, we just push on again. Here, if you take here, we can't push on here. If you take, we can take here, right? I'm not trying to be too mega precise, so I'm just going to take the knight and give up a knight and then push my pawn. I'm aware of the clock. I'm nearly 2 minutes down, but I'm fine. I'm just releasing the rook. I'll try and march forward. Then we'll go after the king shortly. But I'm going to push up now. So we threaten to hit 2 pieces. Excuse me. Rook goes across, so I'll just keep going forward and hit the 2. Again, I know you can take here and I can't take back. I'm aware of the threat. Okay, we just take here and we threaten to get a new queen. Okay, so he does actually hit my rook there, but I think I can simply play a queen up and allow it and then get a queen. So here, if you take the rook, I just make a new queen. That seems good. If you trade the queens, I go here. You can take here. I push, you push down. I've got to still be a little bit careful, but I think I'm fine. So I'm going to play the queen up move. It's not without some risk. Like I say, you can take and I can't take back unless I give up the rook, but I could afford to do that if I really wanted to. If you trade queens here, then I'm still threatening to make a queen. Or if you take, I can make a queen. Not immediately, you can block. So take, I take back. We threaten to make a queen next move. I don't see how you stop it, actually. So he's gone there. So again, I assume we just take here now. Then make a queen next move. A difficult position for my opponent. It's not a bad effort, is it, considering the rating gap here. There's still this potential issue, so I assume I should just take the pawn. Just to make sure I've taken that threat away. Bishop moves anywhere. I could even just trade queen for the rook again. It removes a lot of risk, doesn't it? It's a bit unnecessary, but I'm going to do it and just take the pawn. It's just removing risk. Put the rook on a dark square. Right, now I'll just push on and make another queen. Okay, take, so we'll take. we'll take there. I've just got to be careful now, we're in stalemate territory, so I've just got to be a little bit careful. I'm going to give away the knight as well, so I can just make sure I take the pawns. Okay, now I can push forward. I'm just trying to pay attention to make sure the king's definitely got some legal moves, and you can go back to where you were. You can come down. So if I queen now, you can't step onto this file, or that file, or there, but you can go there or there. So there's definitely legal moves, so I'll make my queen. Just got to pay attention. It's very, very easy to blunder stalemates. But we should be checkmate in a couple of moves. Now here it's mate and here should be mate. You just got to make sure you see them. And because it's a check, it's never a stalemate. And now it should be checkmate with the rook. But that's not a bad effort by my opponent, is it, considering the rating and the rating gap there? Well done. And I gain no rating whatsoever for a game like that. I get nothing whatsoever. So it's a real risk. If a game goes horribly wrong, you lose an awful lot. We played 40 moves, good effort. So what did I do here? I played that one pretty well. Actually, so's my opponent again. No bad blunders have been flagged. 98% for me, 90% for my opponent. My centre pawn loss is only 9, which is really, really, really good. So I played a really good game. But my opponent's centre pawn loss is 34. Now my average is 32. So my average typical rapid game, my average centre pawn loss is 32. And my opponent's basically played a game at that sort of level. 90% accuracy and 34 centre pawn loss. It's not bad, is it? Especially when you factor in the rating gap there. That's really, really good effort from my opponent there. So well done. But obviously, putting it into context a little bit, of course, you can find good moves when you're in a losing position. And often you may only have one move you can make in a losing position. But still a really good effort. Well done.